How's everyone going out there? Happy Monday, happy Memorial Day, first and foremost. All the veterans out there, whether you've served before or you're currently serving, thank you for your service. And listen, I understand America's not perfect, but there's no country that's perfect, no person that's perfect. You have to work on it every single day. It has to be something we have to work on every day, and it starts with how we're living in our own households, how we live every day, how we're teaching our kids to live every day. That's where it begins. It begins right here in our homes. Like I said, I know America's not perfect. Don't even get me started. Anyone who knows me knows how I feel about politics in this country.
No. Terrible.
But with that being said, happy Memorial Day. Thank a veteran, thank for their service, thank for everything they've done that allows us to live the way we do. Things need to be worked on. There's no doubt about it. But first and foremost, it starts with some gratitude in the way we're living life every single day. So before I go into the main topic of this video, which is a housing market update from these last couple of months, I just wanted to once again kick out there. This is the last week to take advantage of my company, Power Solar's solar incentive to go solar. It ends June 4th.
You shut your mouth.
And basically what they're offering is they're offering to pay our solar incentive for Memorial Day weekend is they will pay your first year of solar payments on them. So you get a year of solar payment for free on my company, Power Solar. And that ends June 4th. Contact me today, send me an electric bill, send me your usage, send me the size of your house, and we can work out a proposal for you in a day. We can still fit you in. We can still get you locked in under that incentive. And if you're in New Jersey, you can also stack that on top of the SREC.
Whoa, slow down, Maurice.
New Jersey State is also offering where they're paying a proportion of your payment, usually between 30 and 55% of whatever your payment is, depending on the size of your system and how much it costs. Then, of course, the federal government is offering that tax rebate, 26% of the cost of your solar panel installation. This is the final year, 2022 is the final year to take advantage of the 26% tax rebate for solar. Next year it's going to 22 or 23. I forget which one off the top of my head, but it's in that number. So it's going to be reduced by 3 to 4% next year, starting next year. So take advantage of all those incentives today. It's crazy. I did a proposal 2 weekends ago where the prospective person putting solar in their home was paying between the state, federal, and my company's incentives, over half of their solar panel system was being paid for by somebody else, not them.
5. Oh, 10 coming back. I think I just doubled your investment. Woo, woo, woo.
An incredible incentive to go solar. So just contact me today. Like I said, there's no commitment for you to get a proposal from me and my company. There's just no commitment whatsoever. I can't stress that enough. Please contact me today. So with that being said, the main purpose of this video was a housing market update. The housing market in the last 2 to 3 months have been on a little bit of an interesting trend. It's not a downward spiral, but it's definitely trending in a different direction a little bit, slightly. I know a couple weeks ago I mentioned on one of my videos about a lot of realtors in my circle were talking about how their open houses weren't getting as much people, how their listings were slightly on the market a little bit longer. They weren't as aggressive as offers on the table as they were in the past, and those kind of things. And I said in the video, we have to see if that's a trend or if that was just a week thing. It was during spring break. People were away, maybe. People were visiting other people out of state, whatever the case may be. So I was like, we have to see where this goes before we say this is a trend. But now, after the last couple months, so for March, for example, the active listings on the market exceeded the month prior for the first time in a couple of years that has ever happened. So March had more homes on the market active than the previous month, February, did, and that's the first time that has happened in a few months, which is based on Redfin.com, and that's a very interesting trend. The other thing that's interesting is 19% is the number that new home sales fell by 19% in this past month, and that's the first time that has happened since April 2020, which is basically the start of the pandemic and the shutdowns. So that's an interesting trend as well. Yahoo.com has an economist that is saying that this is for real. This is going to stay. Whether I agree with him or not, I still think we need a larger sample size, a couple more months of seeing this going this pattern, this direction. But a lot of reasons it makes sense because there is more homes on the market now. I'm starting to see a lot more foreclosures. Those things are going through now. that we're a couple months away, a couple months more removed from the shutdowns. The foreclosures are starting to show up. The evictions are starting to show up on the market. So those homes are going to start, slowly trickling into the market and being active. Then of course the interest rates have gone up, which was this fantastic. Like I said, I'm not going to get into it a lot, about the politics and things, but Congress and the Federal Reserve believe their big plan to counter inflation was to raise interest rates
I
on
knew
us.
exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
Thinking that if they can slow the housing market down, everything else will follow. All the inflation on everything else will follow if they can just stop the housing market inflation, which is awesome. So their decisions, once again, we repay
I'm going to die.
for. But I digress on that. But the point is that the housing market is slowly starting to trend in a different direction. And again, I'm not saying, I'm not saying I believe what the Yahoo.com, economist said, that this is the new trend, that the housing market is about to flip towards being a buyer's market or whatever. But we need more of a sample size before we go that route. Because I've definitely heard of some nicer homes still going over, 30, 40,000 over ask, in a good price point, 600, 700,000. So I think it's too early to say that, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. If you're a seller, or if you're someone who is thinking about listing their house and have been delaying it, going back and forth, it might be time now. The time might be now to take advantage before it flips in the other direction completely. Because like I said, it's starting to trend that way a little bit. And then if you're a buyer and you've been frustrated with the market, or if you were on the market a couple months ago and you just got so frustrated you put your housing search on a hold for a little bit, now's the time to reactivate yourself, go back out, get a new reapproval, because once again interest rates have gone up. So what you're going to be approved for in your interest rate is completely different now than it was a couple months ago. But go back out, get another pre-approval. Get right back on the market. You might have a little bit of a window, or this could be the trend. It could be trending back to slowly being a buyer's market.
It leaked accidentally onto the internet.
I need more proof. I need more of a sample size on that. But, it could be good for buyers and sellers. You could be slowly missing the boat. If you haven't already sold your home and you were thinking about it, you could be slowly missing the boat on the big cash out payday, where you control the transaction basically, and it's going to be on your terms and your conditions. So that's the short little housing market update from these last from March, April, May. Just things to keep in touch of and keep in mind when you're either a seller or a buyer, because once again, the way things are going, it affects both sides, the seller and the buyer. It's still a seller's market. I'm not saying it's not, but it's definitely starting to slowly trickle a little bit the other way based on what the numbers are saying. Again, I need a bigger sample size before I'm ready to say that's the rule of thumb, but that's where we're at right now. So keep that in mind. As always, real estate questions, anything buy, sell, invest, please contact me today. And like I said, Memorial Day, June 4th, Power Solar incentives end June 4th.
You suck!
Don't miss out. If you're thinking about going solar, do not miss out on 1 year of solar on my company's dime. Okay, don't miss out on that incentive. That's an incredible incentive. Contact me today. Till then, enjoy the day.